Good day, ma'am. I am Byron Jason E. from BSFI 1A, and today I will going to discuss of what I have learned from Module 8 and 9, which is the communicating in a multicultural society and world. First is I will going to define the following terms. First is culture. Culture in which individuals are socialized influences the way they communicate, and the way individuals communicate can change the cultures. Culture provides its member with an implicit knowledge and about how to have a indifferent situation and how to interpret other behavior in such situation. Second is the melting pot. As a philosophy of the dominant group advocated the view by which people of different cultures, races, religions, and ethnic backgrounds would come to form a homogeneous society that would become part of larger multi-ethnic society. Third is cultural pluralism. Is defined as the societal condition in which minority groups within a society can maintain their distinctive cultural identities, values, and practices provided that they are consistent with the laws and values of the wider society. And fourth is co-culture. And co-culture also is a group whose values, beliefs, or behavior set it apart from the larger culture, in which it shares many similarities. And fifth is marginalized group of population that experience discrimination and exclusion because of unequal power relationship across economic, political, social, and cultural dimension. And six is assimilation. Assimilation, it refers to the process through which individuals and groups of different heritage acquire the basic habits, attitudes, and mode of life of an embracing culture. And seven is accommodation. Is something supplied for convenience or to supply a need. And eight is separation. Separation is the action or state of moving or being moved apart. And nine is ethnocentrism, is an evaluation of other cultures according to preconception originating in the standards and customer at one's own culture. 10 is globalization. Globalization is the process by which businesses or other organizations develop international influence or start operating on an international scale. And 11 is multiculturalism. The view that cultures, races, and ethnicities, particularly those of minority groups, deserve special acknowledgement of their difference within a dominant political culture. And number 12 is diversity, is a combination of our differences that shape our view of the world, our perspective, our approach. And 13 is culturally confused. In sociology and cultural studies, cultural dissonance is a sense of discord, disharmony, confusion, or conflict experienced by people in the midst of change in their cultural environment. And 14 is cultural imperialism. Cultural imperialism is also called cultural colonialism, comprises the cultural aspect of imperialism, the creation and maintenance of an equal relationship between civilization. And 15 is intercultural communication. It involves the sharing of information across different cultures and social groups, including individuals with different religious, social, ethnic, and educational background. And 16 is interracial communication. Interracial communication is a genre of communication study that embraces the interaction between people representing different historical races. 17 is interethnic communication. Interethnic communication is defined as the communication of the representative of different ethnic communities in situation of prolonged cohabitation in the same society and citizen of the state. And 18 is the international communication. So international communication is the communication practice that occurs across international borders. And lastly, the intracultural communication. Intracultural communication is a meaningful exchange between members of the same social group or group with similar cultural properties. So the second question is to compare and contrast the following. So first is compare and contrast between the individualism and collectivism. So collectivism prioritizes group cohesion over individual pursuit, and it sees long-term relationship as essential since it promotes group goals. Or on the other hand, individualism focuses on human independence and freedom. It is generally against external regarding personal choice or personal choices. And second is a high context communication cultures and low context communication cultures. So generally high context cultures prepare oral communication, while low context cultures favor with written communication. So the third is compare and contrast in high power distance culture and low power distance culture. A culture that gives great deference to a person of authority is a high power distance culture, and a culture that values the equal treatment of everyone is a low power distance culture. And lastly is compare and contrast between masculine culture and feminine culture. We all know that what is masculine and feminine culture. In the masculine culture, men are expected to be assertive, competitive, and focused on material success, while feminine are expected to be a nurturing and focuses on people and quality of life. And the last question is the kinds of problems the culturally confused faces. Communicators who fail to realize that persons from different cultures may not look, think or act as they themselves do, run the risk of having those with whom they interact judge them to be insensitive, ignorant, or culturally confused. The kinds of problem is we all know is first is the language. Not speaking the same language well can cause a myriad or misunderstanding, and it's considered the most crucial barrier in cross cultural communication. And I will going to give you the example. This is the example of problems. um First is stereotypes and prejudice. Second is sign and symbols. And third is behavior and belief. And that is the problem. And that could be all, ma'am. Thank you.